Hello again and welcome to the second part of Module 1, Shifting Teaching to the Future, which deals with graphic organizers. And here you will learn about the purposes of using graphic organizers, its functions and types, advantages of using graphic organizers, the process of creating graphic organizers, and the product. Graphic organizers are a helpful learning tool for teenagers to organize, clarify, or simplify complex information. They help students construct understanding and allow students to avoid the messy but important work of identifying keywords, sentences, and issues. Graphic organizers may be one of the most accessible and adaptable tools for promoting critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaboration. Think about it. They can be used for just about any purpose in the classroom, from note-taking, brainstorming and making connections, to sharing responsibilities and reflecting upon one's own thinking. Graphic organizers support learning. In other words, they create the environment which leads to success both at school and in real life. But basically, graphic organizer is a diagram that represents the relationships of ideas or information from some source. The form of graphic organizer varies depending on kind of thinking present in the source and the organization of the material in the source. Using graphic organizers in English language teaching is crucial for several reasons. They help student engagement increase. They make language from the text or any other resource relevant to learners, and they make communication meaningful. And most importantly, they help to memorize information as it is presented in different forms. Graphic organizers organize information in coherent structure and so integrate the new information and connect it to prior knowledge. They limit the amount of ideas covered and so minimize distractions. Graphic organizers contribute to visual learning, because students see how ideas are connected and realize how information can be grouped and so organized. Students can use diagrams and plots to display large amounts of information in ways that are easy to understand and help reveal relationships and patterns. Visual learning helps students think critically. And these are probably the most important things we should remember while teaching our students to identify the most important information. In the context of visual, I can't but mention color. So why is color important in graphic organizers? Although this might sound like magic, there is data to support it. Just imagine up to 90% of our perception based on the colors. Whether intentional or not, colors give meaning to graphic organizer because the eyes are attracted to bright and high contrast colors. Students will derive meaning from something that stands out. When you use color for emphasis, it's like shouting that this object or element has the greatest value. Graphic organizer with colors helps students visualize and construct ideas, organize and sequence information, both physically see and understand relationships between the ideas. Students may feel overwhelmed by the many sections in a graphic organizer, but color coding makes it a bit easier. Incorporating colors not only make your graphic organizer brighter, it also helps your students to focus and remember things better. Very often, the information on a graphic organizer could just as easily be written on a form of list, but the organizer offers certain advantages. Graphic organizers provide the learner with a different way of seeing and thinking about information. Language barriers like words, grammar are removed so that learners can focus on the connections between the information. Critical and creative thinking skills are developed. To create the map, the learner has to identify the relationships between items, examine the meanings attached to them, and prioritize the information and decide where each item should be placed on the map. A lot of information can be converted into a structured, easy-to-read graphic display. A large amount of information can be displayed to provide the big picture of a topic. Graphic organizer helps the learner to generate ideas. Graphic organizers have multiple uses. They can be used to structure writing projects, summarize reading texts, organize the store vocabulary, and help in problem-solving, decision-making, studying, planning research, and brainstorming. The teacher is given a record of the learner's thinking process, because graphic organizers can be used to assess students' knowledge and understand the content, and develop thinking skills and creativity. So, how to use graphic organizers? Graphic organizers work best when they are simple. When they are clear, hit a focused topic, the students can focus on the content. Usually, simpler is better. Having too many pictures and too many colors can be very distracting for a student. Plus, by keeping the graphic organizer simple, you are making your life easier as well. It is crucial to use graphic organizers often and to organize your lessons around them. This will simplify introducing a topic as well as focusing on the key point. Graphic organizers can be classified either in terms of their design or their function. Functionally, graphic organizers can be grouped into two categories: those that depict basic information structures and those that serve specialized needs. For the English language classroom, the most common functions are describing, comparing and contrasting, classifying, sequencing, cause and effect, and decision-making. There are a variety of designs, but all of them serve the same purpose of revealing how the information is structured. So, how to choose an organizer? Choosing a graphic organizer involves function, purpose, type of information, and type of activity. What questions should be answered while choosing graphic organizer? The first one, what topic is involved? The second one, is it a complex topic? The next one, what type of information is presented? Are there similarities and differences, pros and cons? And are there hierarchical levels? Depending on the purpose of graphic organizer, you choose the design and the function. Spider, adding more details to a single topic. Fishbone, cause and effect factors associated with the complex topic. Cluster, a network of ideas. Cycle, a cycle of events with no beginning and no end. Continuum, topic with a definite beginning and end, and a sequence in between. And the last one, Venn diagram, which is to do with similarities and differences. So let's have a look at these types of graphic organizers in detail. So the first one is circle map. The purpose of this graphic organizer is to brainstorm ideas using related information. With the help of a circle map, ideas take shape and eventually become complete and complex plans. It could be used to learn simple concepts as well as complex ones. It consists of two circles, a large circle, and another one inside, which introduces the topic or the main idea. The larger circle introduces corresponding ideas. Or alternatively, you may use this organizer when your students work with the texts. The title or the question is in the middle, and while reading, they have to write down the most important information in each passage. The next one organizer is called Main Idea Organizer. This organizer is simple and effective in showing how all details must fit under and be related to the main idea. It's easy to use, and it's easy to make. In our lessons, we specifically teach students to focus on identifying the main idea and key details. We explain that key details should fit under the main idea. Sometimes it's easier for our students to identify the main idea and then the supporting details. Other times, we find that by identifying the key information. This graphic organizer is a wonderful tool for several reasons. First, it creates visual display of main idea and visually demonstrates how all details need to go under or correlate to the main idea. The next graphic organizer I'd like to introduce is called Venn diagram. The purpose of Venn diagram is to organize information between sets of items, including differences and similarities. Students use Venn diagrams to think through the logic behind a concept or to see the relationships for visual communication. There are 2, 3, or more circles that overlap in the middle. Students compare 2, 3, or more things and write what they all have in common in the overlapping space. It's not required to use circles, but more often than not, it is the most convenient shape because circles can overlap easily. So, Venn diagram is a useful graphic organizer for several reasons. First, it is used for organizing complex relationships visually, and it allows abstract ideas to be more visible. You may use this diagram with any topic as well as vocabulary and grammar. Sequence organizers are a type of graphic organizer that helps students to see the sequential relationship between events in a text. They can show a process or event sequence in a simplified manner. They can help students identify cause and effect relationships, and the main topic of a sequence of events chain is labeled outside of the map in the rectangle that surrounds it. Connected shapes form the steps in the progression or explanation of the chain. Some shapes can also have an extra one connected to it to describe that particular step. Depending on level, you can vary from simple organizers to more complicated ones. It could be as simple as first, next, and then finally graphic organizer, or it could lead to identifying the problem and finding a solution. The cause and effect graphic organizer, also known as fishbone diagram, helps to figure out the causes and effects of certain events. The way to use it is to start with a main event, which fills the main central section of the map. Cause and effect is a type of graphic organizer that describes how events affect one another in a process. The student must be able to identify and analyze the cause or multiple causes and the effect or multiple effects of an event or process. If your students are really struggling with identifying or understanding causes and effects, this is a great graphic organizer to use. The purpose of cause and effect organizer is to identify the problem and predict the outcome of a certain event. By the way, this is the organizer which clearly shows the impact of any event, and it can be used with any topic. In many classrooms, the teachers typically wait less than a second after asking a question before doing one of several things: repeating the question, interrupting, redirecting the question to someone who thinks faster, and answering the question himself. So there is a little chance for students to have second thoughts or extend their ideas. Another scenario when teacher is fishing for right answer. There is a little room left for different opinions, and it happens all the time, especially when working with organizers, as every student has his or her different view and defines the arguments will be different. It is critically important to provide students with the time they might need. That is why it works best in groups. And remember that my way of thinking or knowing something or understanding something is not the only way. And when it comes to creation, I might say that you can create your own graphic organizer in a minute using Smart Art, just like I did, or Canva, or any other platform you like. Here you can see numerous educational websites which offer a wide range of graphic organizers to download in PDF format, and they are free of charge. Teenagers love using graphic organizers. Because of their graphic nature in representing information in a pattern, students tend to stay focused. Students are highly motivated and excited to use graphic organizers. As with any tool of instruction, modeling how to use each graphic organizer is a key component. We can't simply expect to assign a story and distribute graphic organizers with the instructions okay, read this story and complete the graphic organizer. It won't work. Instructions on how to use graphic organizer is vital for success of graphic organizers as a learning tool. Modeling each new type of graphic organizer is very important to the success of your students. Another key component is feedback. Without proper feedback, students will not improve their responses to reading. Guiding and providing feedback has proven to be a very effective way of helping all students improve on their writing responses on the graphic organizers. To sum up, I would like to say that using graphic organizers can be extremely useful for both teachers and students, as they will make lessons more engaging as well as easily comprehensible. So support your learners and enjoy teaching.